Oh, oh, where are you going? Hey, listen, if I'm going to take the time to teach you how to do all this stuff, then you get your butt back out in that garage. And then you smash the subscribe and like button because I'm an awesome guy and I like to give free information. So you should do me a favor. But don't be walking away. We got things to learn today and to fix. So you better go grab your tools and get out in that garage right now. Right now. What are you waiting for? Go. Jeez.
What is going on there, guys? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe for the information that I provide. Anytime I buy a bike, work on it, I always try to review these things for you guys so you have a good idea from somebody who's had over 300 personal bikes in his life. I have a lot of experience with everything: cruisers, scooters, sport bikes, dirt bikes, you name it. I've pretty much ridden it. And I bought this a few months back and haven't really had a chance to tinker with it. It had a misfire. I went ahead and solved the misfire. And there's a couple things we're going to talk about that. But like I said, guys, it takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to make these videos for you. So please give me the respect of at least dropping a comment, maybe hitting the like button. And if you feel it and you like the information I provide, please subscribe. That's all I ask. It's simple. That's it. That's all I ask. So this is a 2007 Honda 600 VLX. This is a very interesting platform for a couple of reasons. Number one, it has the speed of your average 5-speed cruisers. However, it only has a 4-gear transmission. So the downside to that is that it's going to kind of lug on takeoff until you get up into some reasonable RPMs, and then it'll take off like a little rocket ship. But you will definitely feel that lugging coming out of turns and things like that. Because normally people that ride 5 or 6-speed bikes, they're going to feel like they don't really like that higher RPM range. They want to be a little bit lower into the torque value of the bike, whereas this one provides the torque value in the higher RPM range. So this will throw off people that have been riding for a long time. But if you're new, this bike probably won't seem that out of place to you. Let's talk about a few things. It is a liquid-cooled bike, so it is not an air-cooled. It is a, as you can see, it has 2 cylinders here. It's a V-twin. There are some interesting things about this V-twin that set it apart from, once again, like I said, the other Shadows. And one of those being this has 4 spark plugs, 2 spark plugs per cylinder. So that means 2 coil packs. And the other weird thing about that is, so it's 2 cylinders, 4 spark plugs, 2 per cylinder, and it only has 1 carburetor. That is a very interesting setup. I'm not sure why Honda would have done that other than air mixture ratio maybe. They just weren't getting enough burnt, so they decided to add a second spark plug to each cylinder. That's the only thing I can think of. And that would tell me that the engine had a design flaw from the manufacturer. And their way of correcting that was just adding another spark plug hole in there. So, and putting a spark plug in there to assist with the burning process of the air mixture. That's the only thing I can think of. So, single carburetor. It is not fuel injected. It has a single disc brake on the front, and it has a drum brake on the rear. It has very quiet exhaust. This is a very, very quiet machine. I would assume most people probably drill these out or remove the baffles. This one looks like you would have to drill it out. I mean, probably what most people do is remove it up to here and just make it shorty pipes. But that would make this thing god-awful loud in the higher RPM range. I would not want to ride behind this if somebody did that. So, but I would assume they're probably drilling holes in the back to remove the baffles. It does not have your normal shocks. It definitely has fork seals on here, so springs mixed with forks, and it's a fairly simple machine other than, like I said, the weird setup with the spark plugs. Everything else is normal. It's a good looking little tiny cruiser bike. You know, it's got a reserve tank. There's no RPM band on it. It's just crack the throttle and go. It does have the speed capability of 90 to 100 miles per hour. However, I think you'll find pushing a 4-speed bike that hard will be very problematic for this machine, and it'll probably come with tons of vibrations. My suggestion to you is 65 to 70 miles an hour. That's probably going to be the sweet spot for this. It's around 60, 65, 70 I feel like it's going to be pushing it. Your happy medium with this bike's probably going to be around 65. It is an RPM hungry engine. Other than that, super simple. There's not a whole lot to this bike. It is just a very simplistic bike. Turn the key, pull in the clutch, hit the start button, highs, lows, turn signal, horn. I mean, this is about as beginner as you can go. That's all I'm going to say. So I think I've done enough talking. This only has 10,000 miles on it. I picked it up for around $800. And I did some work to it, made it look nice again, got it all beautiful. So let's take her for a rip, see how she does. I'm actually going to try to start it without the choke and see how it does. There you go. That means I properly tuned it, because I haven't worked on this now for around 5 hours, so it was cold. So I've got a good tune on the engine at this point. The mirrors are usable, if anybody was wondering. I am 5'11". My feet are planted flat. The bike feels a little too low to the ground for my liking. I want something that sits slightly higher. So if you're 5'11", you're probably going to be feeling a little cramped on this bike. Not to say it would be a rough ride, because once your legs are up, it's really not that bad. But you know, you being tall, you might look a little strange on this bike from the side. So yeah, like I said, other than that, it's just a very simplistic bike. There's no gear indicator. It's just neutral, turn, and I-beam. This is, like I said, about as original cruiser as you can go for a motorcycle. It is just such a basic machine without any thought of riding. You just have to pay attention to your gears, and that's it. So, you know, very, 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 very simple machine. I'm just gonna let it warm up for a second, then we'll take off here, guys. Okay, here we go. Let's take this little bike for a ride. Clutch in, has a very light clutch. I can pull it with one finger easily, as you guys can see. One finger. It's not a complicated clutch, one finger. This is a very light clutch on this thing. So put it down into first, 1 down, 3 up. That's all this thing's got for gears. Give it a little bit of throttle, let the clutch out a little slow, and here we go. Like I said, not a very loud bike at all. Let's take it for a little ride here. Sounds alright. I would like a little bit more sound coming from it, I think, but sounds alright. This is a chain-driven bike, so if you don't care for your chain, it's going to be kind of noisy. This one has a little bit of slack and it's dirty, so that's something I still need to do. My little helmet strap is hitting me. Let me see if I can tuck this away while we ride here real fast. This is going to hurt a little bit. Oh, pushing this into my helmet, but there we go. Okay, that way it's not slapping my helmet. So, very grounded bike. You know, it doesn't take much to get it to turn. It's a very simple machine. Just lean your hips a little bit and it'll go back and forth. You know, it's not really a whole ton to this bike. It's just very, very simple. It's the suspension sucks. It's a little bit of a rough ride. You know, it's not a very smooth machine, but it shifts great and it sounds pretty good. It's just a nice little in-town cruiser, occasional highway ride. You know, but like I said, you give it a lot of beans, it takes a little time to get up to speed. It's not a speed demon bike, and you have to keep the RPMs up there if you want to have any kind of power. The moment you come out of the RPMs, watch. So if this was a normal bike and I had more gears, watch. You see how long it takes to engage? It'll lug really bad if you're in the wrong gear, and that's just because it's a low displacement, low powered machine. You know, this turn, it wants to be in first gear for. It doesn't want to be in second gear, it wants to be in first. We have pull-out power. You know, if that had been any other bike, I probably would have taken that in second gear, because I would have had plenty of power to get out. So But once you get up into the RPMs, it's fine. It's just a nice little ripper, you know. Parts for this are very cheap. I wouldn't buy this if you don't know or aren't willing to take the learning curve on working on something like this, because most shops do not take bikes or work on bikes now that are 10 years or older. So just something to think about. This is a carbureted machine. There's not a lot of shops left that are going to work on something like this unless you can find a nice little mom and pop shop willing to work on it. But still, it's $120 to $190 an hour for your normal mechanic to work on a bike like this. So just be expecting that if you're not willing to work on it and tinker when you have a problem yourself, and I assure you, you will, because it is a carbureted motorcycle. All I can say is run ethanol-free fuel and you'll have the least amount of carb problems for as long as possible. But you know, it's still a carbureted machine, so you run into carbureted machine problems, you know. And if you're not willing to take the learning curve yourself, you'll be fixing it yourself or taking it to a shop. So but it definitely feels really grounded in the corners. One hand turns, no problem, holds down to the road. It's a little bumpy for my taste. I like something slightly more smooth, but it definitely is, you can one hand cruise this bike without issue. It's a nice little machine, you know. It's a great beginner's bike, I think. I'm not sure that weathered riders that have been doing this for a while are going to be very impressed by this machine, but you know, if you're new to bikes, this is a great starter platform. You know, this will put you in the categories of the 250s and the 300s, the 400s. To be honest with you, the 250 sport bikes are going to be way faster than this thing are. Now, this is a great place for the suspension test because this gets really bumpy. So I'm going to try to talk while we do this and see how bad it beats me up. Actually, this isn't as bad as I thought. I thought I was going to get a bit more beat up than this. It's doing better than I thought, to be honest with you. I thought I was really going to get the crap kicked out of me down this road. So suspension's not really as bad as I thought. It's just very tight, and it's got a little bit of bounce to it. So if I can still talk reasonably well through these bumps, then the suspension's a little better than I thought. It still doesn't feel great, though. I'm used to very smooth bikes. This does not feel very smooth. So there's a good little bike. It's a nice little cruiser, I think. This would be fun if you just lived in a nice small town or just wanted to go ride down some back roads. You know, this is that kind of bike. This is where that bike is going to excel very well. I would put a little louder exhaust on it, or at least drill a few holes in the back of this just to make it a bit more noisy, but overall I think it sounds alright. Parts are cheap, very, very cheap, and they're easy to find. There's tons of aftermarket parts for these bikes. Same thing with the 750 VT. You know, these bikes, there's so many of them out there that they're just very... Oh, look, we got another motorcycle rider. Let's give a quick wave to Buddy here. So yeah, his bike sounds like I want this one to sound. It sounds great. This one is so quiet. It's alright. He gave me the props. At least he gave me props. I'll take it. I accept the props. Ooh, I do not want to hit that bump. Glad I avoided that. So guys, like I said, I'm not going to talk too much longer. Great little bike. Gets up to speed, no problem. You just got to understand takeoff. It's a little luggy unless you know, ride first gear for a good second before you pull out and then go into second. If you're taking turns at slow speeds, I would just say drop back into first, because second gear is going to lug really bad. If you're trying to, let's say, pull out in front of traffic, I would say pull out in first gear, because then you have a lot more steam. You see what I'm saying? And then the RPMs are already up for second gear, and you can get it up to 40 like no problem. But if I had tried to do that from second gear, I would have been absolutely plowed by a car. So let's kick it down one here. Second, third. And you can cruise in those gears, but if you find that you pull back and you just don't have much power, I would just drop a gear. So yeah, it's not an impressive machine for somebody who's been riding a long time, but if you were a new rider, this would probably feel great to you. You would have a good time on a bike like this, you know. Definitely, I think you'd have a good time. Smooth shifter, reasonably noisy, but not too loud. You know, it's quiet enough that it doesn't become an annoyance to the neighbors or anything. You know, you could ride this in your HOA community without a problem. Nobody would complain about a bike like this. I'm not a huge fan of windshields either. This thing would be the first thing that goes. Even though somebody put an aftermarket one on here, that would definitely be the first thing that goes. So that's just me. I'm not a big fan of windshields on cruisers. So anyways, get off and have a little look at her. Like I said, surprisingly nice little bike. It's not stupid loud, good little sound to it, nothing crazy. No, it's just a great starter bike for somebody. So don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, show me a little love, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Toodles.